Size does matter, but this doesn't mean bigger is always better. This video is in response to a few user comments asking how barrel length affects the performance of firearms. The answer to this will be pretty straightforward, so if you are a firearms guru, you can skip over this video, or you can join along and hopefully enjoy some entertaining clips. The longer a barrel on a firearm, the greater the velocity of a projectile in relation to the powder charge of a given cartridge. A longer barrel gives a firearm the advantage of allowing propellant to expand or work behind a bullet for longer, pushing it and increasing its speed. When you see a muzzle flash from a gun, think of this as some of the wasted energy that could be used in pushing a bullet down a longer barrel. However, at a certain point, this energy does become less effective versus any resistance or friction a bullet might experience in a barrel. Calculating at what point there will be a loss of velocity inside a barrel is not easy. There are many factors, and it's highly dependent on the cartridge being fired. However, the vast majority of guns don't fully utilize their full firing pressure, and gun barrel lengths are usually determined based on the tactical situation they are designed for. Handguns, for example, typically aren't used in tactical situations past 50 meters. Even most automatic rifles used by the military are used within engagements of 300 meters. Most handguns could, for example, see improved velocity with barrels out past 20 inches before risk of any slowdown due to friction. The more noticeable difference in velocity comes from changing common barrel lengths. A handgun going from 6 inches to 4 inches a barrel can easily see a velocity reduction of 100 feet per second. Not a huge amount, but velocity decreases exponentially the shorter the barrel gets. And this will depend on many factors, such as the powder used in the cartridge. For larger calibers with heavier rounds and slower burning propellant, the difference is more dramatic, such as with anti-tank guns or artillery. Slower burning powder allows for a more consistent pressure as projectiles travel down a barrel. No velocity from any size handgun will knock a person backwards, by the way. Further advantages of a longer barrel for a handgun include increased accuracy, as a longer barrel provides a longer sight radius. A longer barrel will also add weight, helping to absorb recoil, making a gun more controllable. Weight, of course, can also be a downside. The ability to comfortably carry and use a weapon is often the most important factor determining a firearm's length or size for professionals who carry a weapon daily. The main point of a handgun is that it's easier to carry than a long arm, ideally in a small, comfortable holster that can be drawn from quickly and safely. Handguns are primarily used as a defensive or backup weapon, though they are sometimes used offensively because they are easy to conceal. The majority of professionals, whether military or police, will use a handgun chambered in 9mm or other reasonable calibers like 40 Smith & Wesson and 45 ACP. A standard police Glock 22 has a barrel length of 4.49 inches, and firing 40 Smith & Wesson, it has an effective range of 50 meters. The Glock 22 further has a standard magazine capacity of 15 rounds. Loaded, it weighs only around 975 grams, or just over 34 ounces. Most tactical situations involving the use of a pistol will fall within 50 meters, and in most situations a sidearm with a modest and common caliber and barrel length will outperform oversized firearms. The Desert Eagle is a good example. It can only hold 7 rounds of its largest caliber ammunition, and the recoil from these rounds is not easy to control. Many shooters could comfortably fire 3 rounds from a 9mm pistol before a shooter could recover from firing their first round from a Desert Eagle. Large caliber pistols do have the advantage typically of greater penetration power, be it through doors or body armor. However, this is considered a liability in many situations where a round might pierce an intended target and hit an unintended target. Larger pistols further have the disadvantage of potentially being more easily grabbed in close combat situations, though they do also make better clubs and are intimidating. The best argument for large caliber handguns is for use in hunting and for having fun at the range.
All right, I'll take it.
Alright, I'm Johnny. Thank you for watching. Now hopefully you have a better idea of why bigger isn't always better. And yeah, thanks for watching. Do take care and have a nice rest of your day.
Nice.